Portland. Pierce said, quote, "If the Lakers don't win a championship, let alone lose in the first round, I don't want to hear none of this GOAT talk no more." Some strong words. Shannon, what is going on here?
Paul Pierce with some more hate again. Paul Pierce cannot get over the fact that LeBron ran him up out of Boston, ran him up out of Jersey, and he can't get over it because remember Paul Pierce used to bang on his chest when it was LeBron in Cleveland by himself, and I'm the beast of the East, I'm the king of this and that. Well, you had KG and you had Ray Allen. Now all of a sudden LeBron go link up and he get him comparable players. So now it's 3-on-3. Run you up out of Boston, beat you twice when he got him a big three. You go to Brooklyn. They were the Nets at the time. They hadn't moved to Brooklyn, I don't think, Skip. Maybe they had. But he ran them up out of there. And then Paul Pierce just floated around here and then never to be really heard from again. Skip, I don't get it. So if LeBron were to get swept, now here's some guys, some notable guys, Skip, you might have heard of a few of them that's been swept. Michael Jordan. But Mike only played 15 years. LeBron is in year 17. He got swept twice. Kobe Bryant played 20 years. In his 17th season, he was a 7th seed. He got swept in the first round. He was first team All-NBA. I got another guy. You ever heard of Magic Johnson, Skip? Magic ain't good. Magic got swept twice in the finals. And nobody discredited them.
By the way, Magic pulled his hamstring in game 1, and so did Byron Scott.
What about
so it was over.
Okay, what about '83 when he had Kareem? And they had just won the year before. They had won.
Thanks to Magic in game 6, standing in for Kareem.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that was 80. That was the 80
I'm
final.
sorry. I thought you meant.
No,
okay, I got it.
80 finals they won. Then the Celtics won.
Yeah.
Then they won it again. And then they played the Sixers. The Sixers had gotten Moses Malone.
Got it.
And remember when they signed Moses said everybody go in 4-4-4.
Okay, got it.
If eventually somebody won a game. Skip, I don't get this. What LeBron James has been able to do, and I don't want this to be completely about a narrative about a year 17. But what he's done, he's changed the way we view superstars later in their career. Because no superstar in year 17 has been thought of as an MVP candidate. Kobe was first team All-NBA, but he wasn't thought of as an MVP candidate.
Yep.
Neither was Kareem. Shaq was third team All-NBA. His sons missed the playoffs. So this notion, now all of a sudden, Skip, and LeBron does have AD. But I think when we look at the Lakers and we look at LeBron and we look at AD, we realize just how flawed this team actually is. And it's not as good. And you look at it, you're like, wow, can't believe LeBron, because the way they're playing. If these guys don't play great every single night, I'm talking about off the charts, they don't win. And it's not even close.
But you've been telling me all year it's a lock that they're going to win. You didn't tell me about any flaws until now. That's the first time I've heard that word come out of your mouth.
Let it sink in. How many guys are on multiple-year contracts? So that lets you know.
Okay.
Who built the Clippers? Are the Clippers players on a one-year contract?
Okay,
what about the Nets?
I'm just saying, all year long, you just sang the praises of this team and said it's over, it's a lock, they're going to win.
Skip, just because I say it's going to win doesn't mean it's not a flawed team. You make it seem like they have to be mutually exclusive.
Well, I would have thought at some point along the trail you'd have said it could be a problem if, but I never heard that.
Skip, I was hoping, and I said this, Danny Green, you was like, okay, be careful of Danny Green. I've seen this guy come before. And I'm like, okay, yes, I know. He's bounced he was the throw-in with Kawhi to go to Toronto. But a few teams, the Clippers wanted him. And the reason why he got the contract that he got is because there were a couple of teams that wanted him. Skip, I'm not saying that LeBron...
What was the narrative going into the bubble? That Rob Pelinka should be a prime candidate for Executive of the Year for the way he threw that team together after Kawhi jerked the rug out from underneath him. But that he's not going to be considered because too many other personnel people don't like him. Executives don't like him because he was a former agent, obviously, for Kobe.
But I'm just saying, Skip, Michael Jordan only played 15 years. And in 2 of those 15 years, he got swept. People want to make it seem like year 14 and year 15, Mike didn't miss the playoffs. He's the only guy that does not get drugged because he missed the playoffs. Nobody says, well, oh, that don't count. Why doesn't it count? Why doesn't Mike missing the playoffs, why doesn't that go on his resume? Everybody else, their goods, bads, is on their resume, except Michael Jordan. His 2 times getting swept doesn't mean anything. His 2 times missing the playoffs doesn't mean anything. But everybody else.
You mean 2 times in Washington?
Yes.
Okay.
Was he Michael Jordan? Did he wear 23? Was he selling shoes, Gatorade, draws?
He was 39 and 40.
See? There we go.
Well, he was. He took 3 years off to honor his coach who got run out of town.
But I thought you didn't like excuses, and you just gave an excuse.
That's not an excuse.
Yes, it is.
3 years off late in your career. His career ended with that shot and holding the pose at Utah.
No, it did not.
Well, it did.
It should have. No, say it should have ended with that shot.
I know, but it was like a ceremonial appearance. He just wanted to come back and play.
Hold on. So let me ask you a question. Do the points that he accumulated, does that go towards his total? Because ceremonial, it doesn't go to your totals. His rebounds, his assists, his block shots. Does that go?
The only stat I care about ended in Chicago. It's 6-0 with 6 MVPs. Period. End of story.
So hold up.
No, nobody holds the last 2 years against him.
Why not?
Which were 4 and 5 years away from his last championship.
I'm just trying to, one more thing before I let you go, Skip. So if Michael Jordan plays 15 years and he wins 6 titles, what the hell happened to those other 9 years? Did they not play NBA Finals?
Well, which ones are you talking about?
I'm talking about Michael Jordan. Okay.
He should have had 9 in a row.
Hold up. Okay.
He was forced out.
I'm gonna try to
let's say 8. He should have had 8.
Okay.
Yes. Forced out for 2 years.
Michael Jordan plays a total of 15 years in the NBA.
Yep.
He wins 6 titles in those 15 years. In the other 9 years, did they not have NBA Finals in which Michael Jordan could compete for a title in? Yes or no?
He ran into one of the greatest teams ever, the greatest Boston Celtics team ever, led by your favorite player as you were growing up, named Larry Joe Bird. It's the greatest Celtics team ever. It could be a top 5 all-time team. And then he ran into what many people thought was the greatest defense, at least the deepest defensive team in the history of the league, the Bad Boy Pistons.
So I can take
in an era in which you could play football, basketball.
So I take that from your meandering is that they did have
meander.
I
nailed them both.
They had NBA Finals in the 9 years in which Michael Jordan didn't win. He just didn't win. Is that what you're telling me? Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Your Honor, it is my turn, and I call to the witness stand Paul Pierce because I loved what he said.
Of course you do.
Paul Pierce doesn't like LeBron because he never respected LeBron because they were arch rivals and they guarded each other in those first 2 big meetings in Boston while LeBron was in his first go-around in Cleveland.
Right.
It was those 2 mano a mano, nose to nose for 2 conference semifinals in 2008 and 2010. So, Your Honor, I ask you, what happened in 2008? Now, the Celtics are a good team. To your point, they're on their way to winning a championship, but LeBron James has emerged as the best player on the planet.
Yes.
So it goes 7 games.
Yes.
And game 7 is at Boston.
Right.
But LeBron has always played not just pretty well, he's played great in Boston, and he put up big numbers that day, guarded by Paul Pierce, and he is also guarding Paul on the other end.
Yes.
LeBron scored 45 in game 7 at Boston. That'll work. 45, 5, and 6. Paul scored 41, 4 and 5, but still 45 to 41. So he outscored him by 4. It's a shootout. But with 2 minutes left, LeBron is down only 1 point. So now it's LeBron time. It's show me time. It's one of the first times that I sat back and said, he really came up small in the clutch. That's when I started to wonder on national TV, does LeBron have the clutch gene? Because I'm not sure about it, because down the stretch of that game, Paul saw it because he was guarding him. 1:41 left. LeBron missed a 3 to put them ahead. Then they're down 3 with 26 seconds left, and he misses a 5-footer to cut it to 1. Then they're down 5, and he goes to the free throw line and misses the first one with 11 seconds left. We've seen that regularly through his career. Paul Pierce goes back to the other end and nails 2 free throws to basically clinch it. But then with 6 seconds left, LeBron has a 3 to cut it back to 2 and make it that last-ditch, free throw game. And he missed another 3. So down the stretch in the last 2 minutes, LeBron was 0 for 3 from the field and 1 for 2 from the free throw line. He came up small. Paul Pierce knew it, and Paul Pierce didn't respect it.
It's okay. Before you go any further, can you tell the people also who do he have on his team?
Okay,
he had defensive player of the year, KG, and he had arguably a top 3 shooting guard at the time in Ray Allen. Did LeBron James have any of that?
Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Danny Ainge, Dennis Johnson.
Yes.
Can I go on?
Yes.
Okay. That's what the GOAT was up against as a baby GOAT.
But LeBron didn't get swept.
Yeah.
Your guy got swept.
All right. Okay. So let's go to 2010, the more infamous conference semifinal. LeBron has, I thought it was maybe the second greatest game of his career is Game 3 at Boston on a Friday night. I was sitting in my apartment in New York, just mesmerized by it. He goes 38, 8, and 7 and destroyed the Celtics. They won by 29 points, Game 3 at Boston. They're up 2-1. And you know what happened, Game 4, 5, and 6. They lose by 10, 32, and 9. LeBron put up decent numbers, not shocking numbers, but decent. But what did his owner soon accuse him of doing? His owner, Dan Gilbert, said he quit in games. Well, he did. He said it publicly. So the owner accused LeBron James of quitting in games 4, 5, and 6.
So we taking accusations as truth.
Okay. And what did a member of LeBron's inner circle?
I don't know. I didn't.
What did he plant with a reporter at ESPN?
What did he plant?
He planted that LeBron had to be sedated before games 4, 5, and 6 because of an internal problem. Here we go again with internal problems in the locker room. He played sedated in games 4, 5, and 6, according to this source close to LeBron. And ESPN ran with it all day. And I had to be sedated because it was such a bogus excuse the rest of the day. I could not believe that they would stoop to that to try to defend LeBron James. You had to be sedated? Okay, Paul knows that. Paul saw it firsthand. He was guarding him in games 4, 5, and 6.
I would tell the people what Paul was doing before he got KG and Ray Allen. LeBron was busting his butt on the reg. They keep talking about a big 3.